Give me two. We are live on Facebook and YouTube now, just in case someone just stood on the dog. It's a one-man show, so I have to edit everything. So just give me 2 seconds, and then
No worries.
I've changed where everything is on Facebook. So just trying to find it all. Just, it's in a different place to where it used to be when you go live on it. Well, welcome to the Reposs Non-League show. A shorter show than scheduled, but over the moon to say that we got two of the superstars taking Craig's place this week from Merthyr, of course. Jamie and Tom, welcome, guys. It's great to have you on.
Welcome.
Hey.
Thank you.
So, I mean, we were saying it before we press sort of live. I mean, the season's a season of dreams so far, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you take it most definitely. I think, yeah, where we are right now. I mean, yeah, I think anyone associated with Merthyr is looking pleased where we are, and yeah, as the players, I think, yeah, we're yeah, most definitely happy.
And I mean, you seem to, you go onto the streams, you go onto, any of the social media, and there seems to be sort of three or four names that pop up regularly every single week, and there's the usual one that everybody knows all about. And but of course, Jamie, you come up quite regularly, pulling off wonder save after wonder save.
Yeah, I like to get a bit of credit every now and then, but I think at the end of the day, as long as we're getting the wins and, we know how cruel and kind football can be. So one minute you're the hero, the next you're the villain. So, I think as a collective, we're quite good at, staying down to earth and being quite, putting the ego aside really and just getting our jobs done, which I think is sort of credit to the group and, maybe one of the reasons of our success so far. It's not really we've had a nice little win now of 8 in a row, but we know how quickly it can all come crashing down. So yeah, it's just keeping that level head, I think, across the group.
But I mean, the massive game coming up at the weekend against AFC Flight. I mean, that's going to be an interesting game, isn't it? And a cracking stadium as well, by the looks of it, from what I've seen of it through the years.
Yeah, and we've put ourselves in a position now where I personally I'm not looking at it as a free hit, whereas maybe the start of the season they were one of the ones you look off as a bit of a like a tourist trip as such. But no, we're going there now, absolutely raring for 3 points. As you say, it's a lovely stadium, but also a privilege to get to play against such a good football team. We've seen obviously some of the nice stuff they play, similarly to South Shields when we played them a few weeks ago. And as yeah, like I said, we put ourselves on a platform now where we expect a result and expect a performance as well to accompany that.
Mm. I mean, Tom, I mean, what's for yourself? I mean, looking forward to go in there as well yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's an opportunity to sort of showcase us as a team. I mean, again, Flyde are a big side in that league as well. But yeah, I mean, looking at it already, I mean, yeah, two sides that are sitting at the top of the table, and you probably at the start of the season, you probably look at that and think probably weren't the case. But yeah, we're going to definitely go in there. We're taking all the 3 points really. Do all the prep this week for that, But yeah, I mean, sort of certainly after last week, obviously going 8 wins on the spin now, it's been sort of yeah, good momentum for us, and hopefully we can carry that on going into Saturday, and then make it another full clean house in December as well.
And you talk about Saturday. I mean, suppose the funniest thing about Saturday was you win 2-1, and well, a certain person didn't even score.
Yeah,
Surprisingly, isn't it?
yeah. Tom's been out of form in front of goal recently.
Bit of a goal drought on it now.
No, to be fair to Rick, he's although it sounds mad to say, scored 23 or 24 goals in his 19 appearances, I think. Don't want to count him out of any goals there, but he's so much more than just his goals. His work rate and off the ball stuff is phenomenal, and you'll often see him making tackles in front of Tom, in front of the back line. So yeah, even if he goes one, two, three, four games without scoring, which I don't think he will, he does offer a lot more than that as well.
I mean, Tom, was it yourself? I'm again, I might be wrong, and you're gonna hate me if I get this wrong. But I remember Craig telling me a story about, and for some reason I think it's you, but again I might be completely wrong. Where you came on as a sub in one of the games, and the boss had moved you into a different position and came on and did the business.
He hasn't told you
Yeah.
about this one. Oh my God, told everyone else.
Which one are we on about? Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that was yeah, probably one of a person that was one of the good days really. Yeah, back in I think that was Macclesfield now. It seems like so long ago now. But yeah, I came on with sort of 30 minutes to go, and next thing you know, I got a hat trick and we were coming away with the 3 points. So yeah, one of the better days.
Was that the one when you were sort of showing him the ball as you walked off the pitch? Then was it? So look, I've got that trick this week. It's my ball, not yours.
Yeah, I was like, Rick, what do I do here then? Who signs it? And but yeah, it's obviously quite nice to sort of to have that. But yeah, I mean, Rick's got quite a few of them now anyway. So yeah, we're running out of balls to train with.
But, but I mean, with it though, I mean, what were those 2 days like? Because they're probably, would you say they're probably two of the biggest wins you've had, in Macclesfield and South Shields? I mean, especially the South Shields game, because I mean, what was that like? We were laughing and joking on the program, with Craig, saying that, ideal that they've got to come down to you on a Tuesday night, etc., etc. But I don't, although it was sort of loads of bravado that, yeah, we're going to go into the game and etc., etc. It was a tough task to come up against a full-time team like South Shields, and to be really honest with you, you won comfortably, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's sort of any game in this league's difficult. I don't think we've gone into any sort of game expecting sort of to turn teams over or anything like that. We've sort of gone into games thinking every game's going to be a tough test, and that was another tough test, really. Obviously, yeah, sitting top of the table, long distance to come and travel, and obviously it's an opportunity against a full-time outfit who are looking sort of comfortable in that league at the moment, really. But yeah, it's just another opportunity for us to sort of under the lights at home, and it's just another opportunity for us to sort of showcase what we can do. And yeah, sort of a game sort of yeah, obviously going in, I think we went in, was it 1-1? I think it was something like that, into half time.
Mm.
And obviously, yeah, so going into second half, sort of run out comfortable. You on the score sheet looks out comfortable, really. But yeah, it was definitely bats against the wall towards the second half. And sort of Cogson was party to that, pulling off a few good saves in that game as well. But yeah, definitely one of the highs of the season so far.
What was it like for you as players in that sort of squad and in the dressing room when you started off really well and then went through that really sticky patch, losing to sort of Ratcliffe by 5, and then Spennymoor 6-4 in a rugby match? I mean, what sort of where was the sort of spirits in the camp? Was the spirit still high? Going into the next few games, because then all of a sudden you sort of turned it around quite quickly, and as you say, 8 wins on the bounce.
I think that's the beauty of us as a group, and a lot of people may not realize it that aren't involved as such with football. And you see it this year with Liverpool. You sign as many players as you want, but try and chuck them in a team. It doesn't always quite work like that. But Paul's had 85, 90% of the group for near on 4 or 5 years now. So it's not really something that, a couple of losses, although especially the Radcliffe one springs to mind, that was quite a bad one at home. It's never really something that we were, sort of panic stations about. Everyone trusts each other and has confidence in their ability and their own ability as well. So it was never really too down in the dumps, and we always were just sort of brushing it, whether that was the right thing or wrong thing to do. We were like, right, next time, next one, we're on it, and we knew that quality that we had. So yeah, I don't know about yourself, Tom, but I always felt like if we were right, we can beat anyone. But also then on their day, if we're off it even 5-10%, that's the big thing I've noticed in this league. You'll get punished, and it won't just be by one or two. It could be five, like Radcliffe was.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've done quite well as a group really over the past couple of years to sort of not dwell on a loss. We've done quite well to sort of react after a loss to sort of come back and get some points the following week really. But yeah, like I said, one of the benefits of our group is we've been together for a long period of time and we know what we're capable of. And so, certainly that Radcliffe game was probably a key moment for us really to sort of reflect on that it isn't going to be easy in this league. And like you said, we were off it 1.5%. And yeah, sort of they capitalised on that. I think it was like a 10-minute spell really that we sort of weren't concentrated on really, and they took their chances on that. But yeah, certainly on reflection of that now, certainly I think we've learnt from that as well. We've grown from this season. I think where you look at us now in comparison to the sort of start of the season, we've grown in confidence, and that's sort of starting to show in the performances, but also the results as well.
So would you say, I mean, on sort of on the funny side of it, I mean, was it the biggest nightmare away journey for you so far, Kings Lynn?
Yeah. It sums us up, unfortunately. We like obviously getting promoted into the league. We're trying to show everyone we're professional and we think we do things professionally, which we do. But I think that one in isolation was a bit of a freak accident. Obviously, the bus breaking down, being stuck on the side of a golf course an hour and a half before kickoff is never ideal. So fair play to, I believe it was Jack, the secretary, and Paul ringing around local bus companies just to get us there. And obviously it wasn't ideal what happened in terms of result, but that sort of showed the togetherness. Even, I think we were 2-0 down in 15 minutes, but no one really, well, from what I saw anyway, was blaming each other, blaming the circumstances. It was still that, all right, it's happened now, we're gonna go again.
There wasn't you talking about the golf course, was it not something funny happened on around that golf course on the day?
I think me and Cogs are the two on the back of a buggy going up to the toilets while we were waiting for coaches. Really,
Yeah.
yeah. An hour and a half before kickoff. Yeah, getting a buggy up to the golf course.
Yeah, I tried to walk it and I thought, oh, I don't cover much mileage during the game anyway, but I want to preserve the legs a bit. So we got a kind lift off one of the marshals.
You could just see it's almost like a cat. Well, you two are probably too young to even know what a carry-on film is, but it just feels like it's a bit like a carry-on film, all traipsing up to the toilet in the back of a buggy.
Yeah, well, to be fair, that's not been the only sort of incident we've had in this season alone. So it's almost like every week if everything's going well and it gets to 3 o'clock, we're like, oh, geez, all right, fair play. We've done it this week, but nice.
If it's not the way up, it's the way back. That's a problem.
Yeah,
And I mean, that day, though, that must have been a little test because I know when, Craig came on, he said, I only got home at 4 o'clock. He said, like, I think the day before, he said, you could see he had bloodshot eyes when he came on the programme in the evening. And that's when he was telling us about how that had all broken down. Because the funny thing was I was actually going to come and see the game because I was in Norfolk that day. But then we looked to see where we were coming home on that day, and Kings Lynn was completely in the opposite direction in Norfolk. And as much as I tried, I couldn't convince the missus to actually turn around and go the opposite way.
didn't miss much from a Merthyr fan perspective. If maybe from a Kingsland perspective, it was a bit better, but that's another one we chalk off.
I mean, what is with the dressing room? You've spoken about Paul and the dressing room, and I think someone said it last week. There's a lot of talk around Ricardo, and obvious reasons why. When you see stupid stats that come up, like that he scored more goals than 6 or 7 teams in the league itself on his own and stuff like this. But I mean, tell us a little bit about the other star of the show, which is of course the boss himself. I mean, what is he like in the dressing room, and what is your dressing room like? At a minute, because it must be absolutely buzzing in there, mustn't it?
Yeah, I mean we got a good group. I think that like Cog said, we've been together now for 4 or 5 years now as a group, which obviously always helps. But yeah, obviously Gaffer sort of one of the main reasons why he's sort of been there that long. The style of play, but how he is in the changing room as well. He's got a good group together, and obviously got on board with the fans too, which obviously always helps. So yeah, it's a pleasure sort to work with him, play under him, and obviously that's shown in sort of the performances that sort of us as a team are putting on. And sort of we gel together now. We sort of know the style of play of each individual, but also sort of the team as well. So yeah, long may it continue.
Would you agree, Joey?
Yeah, I think Tom's looking for a new deal there, to be honest. But nah, I gotta agree with him 100%. And I think one of the beauty of Paul and how his whole team, not just himself, that they are so trusting with the group. I think you see it how many times I log on to Twitter or X and XYZ's left XYZ club, and it's like a constant turnover. But do you know, even when we've not maybe given Paul and the team the performances and had the results that we wanted. He stuck with us time and time again. And as I said, 4 or 5 years now is it's not granted we won 32 in a row or unbeaten for 32 in a row last year. It's easy to stick with a team, but it's not always been like that. And he's had to put a lot of time and effort into young men, which I know is not always easy. You can sign older, more experienced players and sort of it's a little bit easy in that aspect, but no, he's put a lot of his own hours in, and I know there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that we and the fans don't even see. So yeah, gotta take my hat off to him and the whole team, Smudge and Craig and the analyst boys.
I mean, with the squad being so strong now as well, is it easier now as a squad game rather than just the first 11 game? If someone comes up to you and says, you're on the, comes up and says that, unfortunately you could be on the bench this week. Is that sort of this season sort of easier to swallow than it may have been in seasons past because you know that you're still going to be getting your chance because it's now become a squad game, sort of maybe more of a squad game, should I say, in step two than maybe it was at step three.
Yeah, potentially. And I think when you do it, like you say, when you're doing better, it may be easier to swallow. But I think everyone in our group has that hunger to want to play, and everyone is more than capable of playing at its level. So um, for me personally, I've always said I'd never want Paul's job of having to pick 11 from our squad of 21, 22, however many it is. Fair play to him. I don't know, wouldn't like that pressure of having a ring round on a Friday, but no, for me personally, I like the how competitive the squad is, and there's no sort of animosity between any of the players. I'm sure Tom will touch on it. Will's joined us recently from Cardiff City, fellow right back, but them two have pushed each other on, and from what I've seen, Tom and Will have just gone, I'm going to be better than you and you're going to be better than me, and their levels have just gone up and up, and it's been really good to see. So, and that happens all through the squad.
Hmm.
And what I would say is I think training is of a ridiculous high standard. I mean, we come off training thinking, wow, like that was of a pretty good standard. But obviously that's put on by the staff as well. They deliver those sessions, but also sort of the quality that goes on within those sessions is, yeah, I think it certainly helps us towards the weekend as well. There's a lot of prep that goes on behind the scenes for those weekends. But a lot of that's done on the training ground really, and yeah, obviously we've got a good group of players that sort of want to learn, but also want to improve as well. And yeah, those sort of trainings during the week certainly help towards that.
I mean, what? I mean, the target, if again, I might be wrong, but I would have thought the target possibly, if it wasn't even mentioned, would probably be, well, let's look at maybe survival, in the north, at the beginning of the season. Do you think that's now, has that mentality now changed to, hang on a minute, we could be playing, National League next year and, could be on the telly every other week?
Yeah, certainly. I think going into towards the start of the season, I think for anyone really, I think staying in that league was probably the main goal. But I think behind the scenes within the team at the start of the season, we said we had that belief of we know we can do better than just staying in this league. We want to be competitive. We want to go and push for more. We want to go back to back. We want to go and push as hard as we can in this league. And I think that belief has always been that within that team. And I think that confidence has definitely grown from the start of the season to now. We know we're more than capable, and it's sort of showing within results, within the performances as well. And yeah, we're deserving of where we are in that league. But yeah, by no means are we sort of there to make up the numbers. We're certainly that ambition of going in towards the playoffs, even winning that league as well. I mean, that's sort of the attention certainly shifted really.
And am I right as well? There's a big day coming up as well, 31st of January, because you're going to be on the TV. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, was that the Kidderminster game on the Tuesday night? Is that the
Yeah, it's going to be on
The 10th,
Big
yeah.
Dan, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah. I think that's the 10th of February, that Tuesday night. But
yeah.
you say that exposure that the club's never previously had, and I sort of touched on it when we did get promoted last year. The promotion obviously was great for us players and the staff and everyone sort of associated internally, but ideally and the priority was for the fans that have sort of stuck by the club, and for them, hopefully they can come out and watch us at Kidderminster. It's not too far, but for them to be able to sit at home, feet up on the sofa, watch us on telly, that how good must that be if you're a Merthyr Town fan and you've watched them in the depths of non-league, and to see that natural progression of the club, and sort of to go back to your point about the aims and ambitions. I think that sort of aligns with the right direction where we wanted to go, but equally we know how quickly it can sort of all flip on its head. So I think as a group we're staying very calm, very level-headed, and just taking it as it comes and enjoying every moment. Your playing career is not very long, and myself and Tom are still fairly young, but you know you gotta make the most of it.
I mean, from a Merthyr fan like I am from sort of, I don't know, 4 hours, 5, 6 hours away, it comes in quite handy seeing you on the TV. At least I get to see the whole game.
Yeah, well, my mum and dad, or mainly my dad, he'll get up 3 o'clock in the morning in Australia to listen to us on the Cymru Sport app, and they do a great job. Fair play to him, but he's not always sure what's going on, and people are texting him before it's been put on the radio, so he'll enjoy that.
I didn't realise. So your the parents still in Australia then?
Yeah, yeah. So they managed to get rid of me, and then I couldn't convince him to come to the Merthyr Sunshine.
Australia, Merthyr. Yeah, I could probably see why they'd want to stay where they are, in all fairness.
I think they're missing a trick.
Well, I mean, with it, though, I mean, fans wise, I mean, as well, I mean, the noise, I mean, especially that Telford game, that was unreal. Just watching the highlights, that was incredible to just hear. It felt like there was about 10,000 in there, let alone, however many there was, what was 100 or however many there was. It was incredible noise.
Yeah, I mean, certainly we travel very well. To the credit to the fans, I think they've done an excellent job in supporting us on away trips as well. And I think it was the furthest one that we've had was it Spennymoor? I think it was
Yeah.
Spennymoor away, and there was still a fair few fans at that game. But certainly Telford seen the videos of the fans in that away end making all the noise. Certainly helps us players, and we're forever sort of grateful for those fans for that sort of the travelling they're doing as well, but also the noise they're making too. But yeah, home games certainly they're turning out in their numbers. I think the attendances we're definitely up there in terms of the top five, and there's quite a few clubs that are sort of full time as well. But certainly be mixing within those attendances as well. It's certainly for us players, for this team as well. It's certainly we're grateful for that.
Is there a game you're still looking forward to though? That's coming up on the horizon. Would South Shields away be a game that you're all going to go on a Jolly Boys out in maybe for the full weekend before you get there?
Maybe not before. I think maybe afterwards. Yeah, but no, for me personally, it's a bit of a cliche, but the next one's always the most exciting one
Yeah.
for me. I just look forward to playing and being able to represent the club, and play with my mates at the end of the day. Is That's what it sort of comes down to. But yeah, sort of earmarking games. I think that the one you touch on, the 31st of December, should be a good crowd up Merthyr. I know they've sort of mentioned around 3 to 4 thousand up there. So, for people to come out through the Christmas period, spend their hard-earned money, um, what more is there to want as a player, really?
Mm. So if you do get promoted, then are you trying to organise a end of season tour to Australia rather than to the Ibifas and places like this?
Well, I think Tom's in charge of the kitty, and what I've been paying each week, I think we could afford to take the whole squad and a few fans to Australia for 4 weeks. So, no, I don't know. Some of the boys won't get visas anyway, so I think we'll have to keep it within Europe.
Oh, dear me. Well, lads, it's been fantastic having you join us tonight. Stay on because I've got something to ask you after we finish. But it has been fantastic seeing you, and it's been an absolute joy. I've got a season ticket down at Waltham Abbey, and I've got my phone glued to my face almost all the way through the game, just watching to see how you're getting on, literally. And my phone's running out of battery by the end of the game because I'm actually sort of refreshing your X account all the time just to see what's going on. And it's fantastic watching from afar, and for a fantastic club with some fantastic people. It's really fantastic to see. So, congratulations for what you've done so far. But, let's push on, and hopefully we will see you in the National League at the end of the season. It'd be fantastic for you guys, for your fans, and of course everybody in Merthyr as well. It'd be fantastic. The league, the actual show itself, we've been nominated for an award, and so here is the web page. And if you could go on there and actually vote for the show, it'd be fantastic because we've been nominated for shows before, and opposition have actually come on to our stream and told people to vote for them and not vote for us. So it'd be fantastic if you'd be able to, vote for us, because we've been going for 15 years now, first ever independent non-league show. And so it'd be fantastic to get just a little bit of acknowledgement at the end of it. But the web address you're looking for is nonleaguebible.weebly, that's weebly.com/podcast .html. And if you could vote for the roundup show, that would be absolutely fantastic. But from me and from the boys, until next week, good night.